The yacht engines stopped humming, and 30 club members watched as River Phoenix and Johnny Depp were told no Hollywood types belonged at the marina. Newport Beach, March 1992. The Pacific Coast Yacht Club sits like a white jewel against the azure California coastline, its colonial architecture and manicured lawns representing 4 generations of maritime tradition preserved since the 1920s. This isn't merely a yacht club. It's a sanctuary where old California money maintains social boundaries through nautical heritage that predates Hollywood's influence on the region. The clubhouse overlooks Newport Harbor, where million-dollar yachts dock like floating palaces beside perfectly maintained walkways. Crystal blue water reflects afternoon sunlight, while uniformed staff tend to vessels whose names reflect family dynasties that shaped California's development long before entertainment industry wealth transformed Los Angeles. River Phoenix, 21 years old, walks across the polished dock wearing khaki slacks and a navy blazer that suggests respect for maritime tradition without trying to impress members whose families have sailed these waters for decades. He's here because a film producer friend invited him to experience authentic sailing culture, not because he seeks validation from exclusive social institutions. Beside him, Johnny Depp carries himself with quiet confidence, his own nautical casual attire reflecting genuine interest in maritime experiences rather than social climbing. At 28, Johnny appreciates craftsmanship in all forms: acting, music, and the seamanship that creates legendary sailing adventures. The boats here are incredible, River observes, studying classic sailing vessels that represent decades of careful maintenance and maritime expertise. Each one tells a story about the families who've preserved these traditions. Like vintage guitars, Johnny agrees, appreciating the parallel between maritime craftsmanship and musical instruments that improve with age and proper care. Built to last generations, not just impress people temporarily. Their afternoon begins promisingly as they meet with producer David Chen, whose family membership spans 3 generations of yacht club participation. Chen introduces them to other members genuinely interested in their perspective on filmmaking and creative collaboration, conversations that span far beyond entertainment industry gossip. Your generation of actors seems more intellectually curious than previous ones, observes Margaret Steinberg, whose family foundation controls significant charitable giving. More interested in understanding different worlds rather than just inhabiting celebrity bubbles. I think success creates opportunities to learn from people whose expertise spans different fields, River responds thoughtfully. Every conversation teaches you something about human experience that might inform future creative choices. As the afternoon progresses, they participate in discussions about sailing techniques, maritime history, and the responsibility that comes with preserving cultural traditions for future generations. Both actors demonstrate genuine respect for the knowledge and dedication required to maintain authentic maritime culture. That's when they encounter Captain William Morrison.
Morrison represents yacht club authority at its most concentrated, a 60-year-old career naval officer whose family has belonged to Pacific Coast for 4 generations. His current position as club commodore grants him authority over membership standards, event planning, and the social protocols that maintain the club's exclusive atmosphere. He approaches their group with the measured authority of someone whose opinions carry weight in determining who belongs within Yacht Club's social hierarchy. His uniform is impeccable. His bearing suggests decades of commanding respect through maritime expertise, and his handshake conveys the strength that comes from years of handling sailing equipment. River Phoenix and Johnny Depp, Morrison says, his voice carrying trained naval authority that made him successful in military service. The young actors whose recent work has generated considerable entertainment industry attention. River and Johnny respond respectfully, understanding they're in the presence of maritime expertise and social authority that commands respect regardless of their own professional achievements. Morrison studies both young men with the evaluating gaze of someone whose professional judgment has been refined through decades of assessing character under pressure. His expression suggests calculation rather than simple acknowledgement of their celebrity status. "I've been observing your interaction with club members this afternoon," Morrison continues, settling into the conversation with comfortable authority. "Your questions about sailing technique and maritime tradition show more genuine interest than typical Hollywood personalities who visit here." The compliment feels qualified, as if their entertainment industry background automatically raises questions about authenticity that other guests wouldn't face. "But I feel compelled to address something directly," Morrison adds, his tone shifting from praise towards something more complicated. "Pacific Coast Yacht Club has maintained its character for 70 years by carefully preserving maritime traditions and social standards that distinguish us from typical California leisure facilities." 4 seconds pass as his implication develops without being stated directly. "Frankly," Morrison finally delivers with devastating precision, "no Hollywood types belong here. Your industry represents everything antithetical to the values Pacific Coast was founded to preserve." The words hit like cold Pacific wind cutting through warm afternoon sunshine. Around them, other conversations continue, but River and Johnny experience the moment as if Morrison's judgment has created an invisible barrier between themselves and the club's accepted social order. Other members sense something significant happening, conversations slowing as people recognize potential confrontation between entertainment industry success and established maritime authority. Then River Phoenix takes a controlled breath, his movement deliberate and respectful rather than defensive. Johnny mirrors his composure, both actors demonstrating maturity that contradicts Morrison's assumptions about Hollywood character. "Captain Morrison," River says, his voice quiet but carrying authority that surprises the yacht club commodore, "I think you've made assumptions about our character based on our profession rather than our actual behavior or genuine interest in maritime culture." Morrison's confident expression flickers, not expecting articulate resistance from young actors he already categorized as superficial entertainment industry representatives. River continues, his confidence growing with each word. "You suggest Hollywood types don't belong here, but that judgment appears based on stereotypes about our industry rather than individual evaluation of our respect for sailing traditions." Johnny steps forward, supporting his friend's argument with passionate conviction. "We came here to learn about authentic maritime culture, not to compromise it. Our questions about sailing techniques and club history demonstrate genuine appreciation, not Hollywood superficiality." The nearby conversations grow noticeably quieter as sophisticated members realize they're witnessing something unprecedented, young actors respectfully challenging maritime authorities' cultural assumptions. River addresses Morrison's core prejudice directly. "The values you describe, craftsmanship, tradition, respect for expertise, those exist in our industry too. We work with directors, writers, and crew members who've dedicated their lives to preserving cinematic traditions just as you've preserved maritime ones." The silence that follows carries electric tension as 30 yacht club members witness a fundamental challenge to assumptions that have governed their social world for generations. David Chen steps forward, his family's long membership providing authority to bridge the confrontation. "Captain Morrison, I invited River and Johnny because their genuine curiosity about sailing culture represents exactly the kind of intellectual engagement that strengthens our traditions." Other members nod, some looking impressed by the dignity and intelligence both actors have demonstrated under social pressure that could have provoked defensive anger or intimidated retreat. Morrison studies both young men with growing attention, recognizing qualities he hadn't initially perceived: principled thinking, genuine curiosity, the ability to articulate respect for traditions they're still learning to understand. "You've responded to my concerns with more maturity than I expected," Morrison admits slowly, his tone shifting from dismissive to genuinely thoughtful.
Perhaps I've confused individual character with industry stereotypes. He extends his hand to both actors. Your respect for our traditions is evident. I apologize for suggesting that your profession automatically disqualifies you from appreciating maritime culture. The remainder of their afternoon transforms completely. Instead of being treated as Hollywood interlopers, River and Johnny find themselves in substantive discussions with members who recognize their intellectual curiosity and genuine respect for sailing expertise. The confrontation becomes part of yacht club lore, the day two young actors earned respect from maritime traditionalists through dignified engagement rather than celebrity entitlement. Weeks later, both receive invitations to participate in club sailing instruction, with Morrison personally recommending them for guest membership consideration based on their demonstrated character and genuine interest in nautical traditions.
Years later, after River's death, Captain Morrison speaks about their encounter when discussing the evolution of yacht club membership standards. "River taught me something important that afternoon," Morrison says, "that character isn't determined by profession, and that preserving traditions requires remaining open to worthy people regardless of their background." 4 seconds at a yacht club in 1992. One moment when two young actors refused to accept cultural dismissal based on industry prejudice rather than individual character. One choice that demonstrated how respect and genuine curiosity can bridge differences between entertainment success and maritime tradition. The afternoon that proved belonging isn't about where you come from, it's about the respect you show for values and traditions that matter to the communities you hope to join.